What's going on, guys? Travis with Road Alliance Customs, and today we are taking that cracked motor out and putting in a new one. So I'm excited about this. This means my coupe can probably drive this fall pretty soon. So let's rip that stupid motor out of there and put this one in. Alright, now the radiator's out, I'm going to take my headlights and headlight stand off, move the car to the center where the hoist is, and undo the trans and start ripping this thing out. Alright, so header's on. I had this distributor on the shelf. There was a tag on it that said the price back in the day. Someone bought it for $4.95. I haven't looked inside of it. We should. And it probably works. I'm just going to run it. Or try to run it. Gotta find some plugs. I think I have a bag of plugs on the shelf. Gotta swap the water pumps over. I just cleaned the gaskets off of them so they're nice and clean. Got a new gasket for the intake, but I do need to scrape that. He had some duct tape on it. Then swap the plugs over. Put the starter on. Then I'll drop it in. Put the intake on. Then hook everything else back up. And who knows? Might run it. Oh, I also need to put the bolt in here. I just slipped this crank pulley on, and it didn't have a nut here, so I'll steal the nut from the other motor, and yeah, we'll be cooking. So let's get doing that. Alright, so I was digging through my parts stash, and found this. I knew I had these, but it's like exactly what I need. Same distributor, same everything. So that's awesome. Brand new wires. So I'll be putting those on. Just gotta swap the plugs over and water pumps and everything I just explained. Alright, I got the water pumps on. Plugs loosely in here because I really think I want to gap these before I put them back in. So I gotta do that. I'll do it once it's in there. And put the starter on just now. And just gonna lift it up and put it back in. It's gonna be the hardest part is always lining up that the splines, but we'll see. We'll see. I usually take the jack and put it underneath the transmission to kind of help raise it up and line everything up while I push in. But it's just always a pain. So let's watch me struggle probably for a half an hour. Alright, the red flatty's in. As you know, guys, it's just a temporary motor. Something to maybe get me running this fall. So I want to drive something this year. So, yeah, that wasn't too bad. You saw me struggling for a little bit, but it wasn't terrible. So now, let me hook everything back up and, you know. Alright, so let's open up this distributor. See what it looks like. Well, don't look bad. Well, it looks like it'll work, so it most likely will. Right, so let's put the, let's gap the plugs and then put the plug wires on. I'm gapping these up. Champion plugs, it says in the book to, I'm guessing that's the blue book. I read this from a post on the ham, that Champion plugs should be gapped at 25 thou for flatties. So I'm gonna get, I'm not gonna pinch it in there, but I'm gonna get it close enough. So I take my feeler gauge, 25 thou. Or 635 mils for you guys across the pond. That one's actually pretty good. So is that one? Actually, they're pretty good. So let me just actually check them by the motor. Because normally what I would do, if it was too loose, I'd just kind of tap it, boop, nice kind of lightly. You don't have to hit it. It's going to bend, so you just kind of tap it lightly on an anvil or even on the ground if you need to. And kind of sneak up on it. I'm thinking I probably must have gapped them before when I first got the plugs, or when I first did something. I probably gapped them because that one needed a tiny bit, and these two didn't need anything. Yeah, just like that. There's a little tap. Kind of close that gap up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but this is probably a reason why the motor wasn't running excellent. Camera died right as I was showing you this one, but this was smashed right down. Not smashed, but it was pressing against it, so I pried it up and gapped it. So that's probably why it wasn't running so good last time. I like my other distributor better because it's got like sleeves that come up and then the wires split out of them. It's probably a pain in the butt to put new wires in, but man, it's got to work a lot better. Making sure they're all pressed in correctly. So I get there it is, see? Get a good contact on here. So I think I'm gonna tie these up tight as I can, because I do not want these rubbing against any pulleys here, you know? Now that these are tied up, let me kind of pull them together with another zip tie, a longer one. Motor's in, radiator's in. I get a test with the hood, make sure I measured correctly for the grill shell. But everything's in there the way it was in my old motor, so we'll find out what happens. What do I gotta do? So I gotta figure out how to hook the generator up to my system, because it's a really simple system. There's like, I just have enough wires to get the thing running right now, which is coil wire, starter wire, positive, negative, and that's about it. So I don't exactly know how to wire that generator, but I will do some researching and figure that out, because I kind of need that, because I'll probably make it down the road and will die because it killed my battery. But yeah, she's actually she's back to the way it was before I ripped the motor up, which is good. I got something done today. So I really just need a T-fitting for the brakes, because right now there's only front brakes hooked up. And I need to adjust the clutch, because I didn't have enough. I pushed it all the way down and it still didn't disengage the clutch on the last motor, so I'm assuming it's the same on this one. So gotta do a couple things before I can get it fired. I wasn't planning on firing this thing up today. If I got to this point before noon, then I'd probably do that, but that didn't happen. Alright guys, that's it for this one. It's a quick engine swap. Now I can kind of work on my car again. I don't feel like defeated because it's cracked and I need a new motor. I got one, and it's in. It's in. At least for this season, I want to build one over the winter, so this, at least have one fall drive with the leaves changing in New England. It'll be nice. That's my goal. Probably won't make it, but I'm gonna try. So yeah, thanks for everything, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing my videos. I appreciate it. It's the best. I didn't think so many people would watch my videos, and you do, so that's awesome. Like always, merch in the description. Catch you on the next one. Got a little mini mail day here. This is probably, whoops, going to be the crustiest 32 axle anyone's ever seen. That's going to be run, because you've probably seen crusty 32 axles that weren't on any cars, but this one's going to be on a car, the coupe, for now. And boy, is it crusty. Well, it's been redone, but it's probably still crusty. And still, this thing weighs 1,000,000 pounds. So that is why I am not afraid to run this, because these 32 heavy axles were overbuilt as it is. So this will be just fine. But dang, is it crusty. This side's really not actually that bad. So I'll probably have this side out, because I'm pretty sure you can just pick a side. I don't think it matters. But this side, oh, look at how pitted that is. It gets pretty thin down there. But most of it's still there. And look, dropped. It looks pretty cool. So I'll swap this with my crappy Speedway axle, and I'll have an original drop 32 axle. Because, you know, oh man, he even reamed it? Oh, that's cool. So, yeah, this'll, I have a 32 axle up there, but this was really cheap, and obviously why? Because most people don't want to run a super pitted axle, but I think it's just fine. Gives it character. So I'll eventually have that other one dropped, because that one's in pretty good condition. But this one, there's very little marks from where the perches would hit the axle when they got worn out, which is pretty weird, seeing how everything else is super pitted. I feel like that would have been blown out. Like this was on a car that was used a lot, but it probably wasn't. It was probably not used that much at all, and it just, someone took the front end off of it, maybe in the depression or something, and it just sat in a field in the dirt. It's probably what happened to this, but it's fine with me. I'll probably just paint the thing black, or kind of maybe leave it the way it is. I don't know. Starting to rust already though, so maybe I'll I don't know. I'll figure something out with it, but it's cool. I figured I'd show you guys.